What is going on, everyone? I want to make sure my audio works here first off on this Facebook Live so I don't do this whole thing and then my audio is garbage. Just give me just a second. If you're on here live, you can comment and tell me if it sounds loud and clear. Can you hear me? Can you hear me through my microphone? Let me check real quick and see before I go. It's garbage. Just give me just a second. If you're on here live, you can comment. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Tell me if it sounds loud and clear. Can you hear me? Yeah, you can. Can you hear me through my microphone? Okay, off. All right. What is the topic? Your habits, your actions determine your destiny. That sounds profound, doesn't it? My mic. Profound. Here's why I wanted to do this. Here's why I wanted to talk about this topic. I'm not trying to be a self-help coach necessarily. However, I think all of us need a little self-help every once in a while, right? These are the things we all tell ourselves. I tell myself this too, but I'm seeing patterns with people. I've seen this over the years, but it's become very obvious to me in the last several months. We talk to a ton of doctors who reach out to us that are looking to change things in their practice. They want to improve things in their practice. They're not satisfied with how things are going. They don't feel like they're making a big enough impact in their community. They don't feel like they're addressing all the things health-wise with their patients they want to. Their patients are not coming on board to see the vision like they are. They feel like their staff's maybe not seeing the vision. They, as the doctor, are not feeling fulfilled, like they're doing what they really want to do and have a well-rounded type of care. They see our approach using functional movement and corrective exercise as this appealing thing. Maybe they already do some exercise, but only some patients do it. It's more or less offered as a modality and not really a key core fundamental piece of how they practice. And so at the end of the day, they're not satisfied. And they reach out to us and they watch our demo and they see it and they go, this is awesome. This looks great. And then we have a conversation and we talk. And then it's just an interesting dynamic because it's something we see with patients as well. And it's something that all of us probably know people like this that have certain habits and actions. And then you look at the situation they're in, and it's almost, you can connect the dots and you can predict what kind of situation they're going to be in based on their actions. So now, what am I talking about? This is what I had written up here. I'm going to read it because I have this on the screen. It says there are two types of decision makers, right? These habits result in predictable outcomes. All right. And let me pull this over here so I can see it. So all of us deal with patients who either know what they want and they commit to care, or they hoe and hum until the cows come home and never take action. You can spot these people a mile away and they can change. So they don't have to be like that forever. They can change. If you're one of these people, you can change. Want to know a secret? Doctors are the same exact way. So now here's the deal is I'll just tell you a couple differences between me and some of my family members, maybe. Okay. And there's pros and cons to this. I get it. There's pros and cons, and it kind of depends on what you resonate with, and if you're okay taking some risk, and what kind of personality type you have. But you can change your habits, and you can change your outcome, and you can become one of these two things, really. If we have to polarize it and say it's only two choices, I know there's shades of gray, but it's either some people just take action right away. They see something. I'm going to sit forward in my chair so I can get a little more excited. Okay. They see something and they say, I'm going to grasp this. I'm going to grab the bull by the horns. I'm going to jump in 1,000%. I'm going to commit everything that I have, and I'm going to make this work. I'm going to burn the ships, like Tony Robbins talks about. You burn the ships so there's no turning back, and then you succeed and you get it done. And if you follow any of the self-help coach guru people, they all have a similar type of message. And all of us sit back and we look at that. We go, yeah, that sounds really good. I want to do that. And some of us do that. And some of us go, yeah, I want to do that. But it's not comfortable. There's some risk. See, it's making me cough. There's some risk. There's some possibility it won't work. Maybe I don't trust myself or believe in myself to follow through and take the actions necessary to get the outcome. So it's this very appealing thing to jump on it and just be an all or nothing kind of person. But I'm learning that is more of a rarity. And I think that follows through with what we see, not just with patients, but with chiropractors. I want to start with the chiropractic end of this first. A lot of the chiropractors we talk about or talk to are awesome individuals. They got into chiropractic because they wanted to do something powerful. They wanted to help their community, help their patients. They go to seminars. They learn every little possible thing that you could think of as far as clinically. They are sound. They know what to do, but yet they're still struggling in practice. They're not seeing the patient load they want. They're not making the income that they want. They don't have the staff they want. They're running around with like a chicken with a head cut off, doing everything on their own. And ultimately they are not fulfilled. They're not satisfied. And at the end of the day, they're wondering why. They're saying, well, I learned all this stuff. I know all this stuff, and I know how to help my patients, and I have all these tricks and tools in my tool bag, but patients don't really want it. And it's because of really a lack of systems, a lack of organization, and a lack of speaking to what makes people tick. Patients don't really, you've heard this, like patients don't care about what they just want to know you care. That's one of the little sayings that is fun to say, but it's more than that. It's that patients want a leader, and they want someone to motivate them and push them to take action, right? They've never had this before. They walk into your clinic and they want someone to take charge, give them some certainty, empower them, and then show them the way. And they want to feel confident going, man, this is the most certain I've been, or the best I've felt. And I'm going to take this leap of faith, and I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to do this because no one's talked to me like this before. Well, that's really a mindset of how you can address patients. But you have to really first believe that what you're doing is that. And it's not just a matter of believing, but you actually have to have systems in place to deliver that. So there's resources a patient needs to turn to. Like in Move Now University, we have this 12-week transformation, which is an online membership site. We know that we give our patients more than enough resources to be able to improve their health and be empowered. We have a home mobility kit. Our patients have tools and things at home they know how to use. They have clear instruction. They have a journal. They can journal, because we know from the research behind this, writing something down makes you magnitudes more likely to actually execute on it. So there's all these pieces that we have built into our systems and our programming in our clinic that we know works. So we can look a patient straight in the eye, and we know with certainty, this is going to change your life. You're coming in with this problem. That's why you came in, but you're at the fork in the road. We can just patch up and fix your problem superficially, or we can transform your life, and you can come out a different person on the other end. And you can look back and say, that's where things changed for me, is when I went into this clinic and I saw you and I met you. So now on the same note, there's a couple of topics that I'm kind of blending together in this message, in this rant, that I felt compelled to talk about, is that the doctors I talk to, some of them take action right away. And it's interesting, the ones that take action right away, and there's a handful of doctors we have in our program that have big, successful clinics already. 10,000 square foot clinic, multiple departments, multiple staff. They're looking to fine tune their systems. They want it to run smoother. They know, this is it. I'm doing it. Save me so much time and energy. No use in reinventing the wheel. You have a tried and tested system. I'm going to put Move Now into my clinic and get this rolling. Thank you very much for helping me scale my already successful process, or maybe my successful process that's struggling in a couple places. These systems are going to glue it together. That's one type of doctor. Or on the same note, on this same type of doctor, and I'm thinking of these doctors in my mind, in different parts of the country, we have another doctor. He's got a full, huge gym in his clinic, and a physical therapy department, and spine correction, and chiropractic. And it's just this awesome vision and murals on the wall, and it's just a beautiful thing. And same thing. He sees this, he goes, no brainer. This is going to help me take what I already have. That's great. Seeing the volume I want to see, getting great results, get better results, get better commitment from patients, and just deliver a better product on board. Okay. That unfortunately is the minority of what we see in chiropractic. And it's a small percentage of the doctors that we work with, but we can help them. The majority of the doctors that we see are the doctors that say, well, I can't afford to have any staff, or I don't have any staff, or it's just easier if I do it on my own. I'm going to say BS. Okay. Yeah, it's easier, but if you want to help your patients to the fullest extent, you can't see 6 to 8 patients a day. Okay. I'm not saying you have to see super high volume, but you should be seeing, 20, 30, 40 visits a day at a minimum, and you can do very well-rounded care, but you can't do that yourself. You have to duplicate you. You have to leverage your ability. You do that by building a department, an exercise department. You do that by having staff that are well-trained, that follow tried and tested systems. But we have doctors that don't want to take the risk of going there. It's uncomfortable. They haven't done it before. But why is it uncomfortable? Because they don't have certainty that there's steps they can follow that are going to lead to success. That's one thing. Or they doubt themselves that they're actually going to follow through. And that's something that we also try to help people with. We say, look, we have the resources. We have the stuff that we're going to do here to push you. Okay. So if you take the first step, we will do our best to give you the resources necessary, just like you do with a patient, to help them succeed. Now, you have a certain percentage of patients that no matter what you do, they're just in the doom and gloom. They're a victim and they're never going to allow themselves to get better. Problem, chiropractors are just like that. There's a certain percentage of chiropractors that are just like that. We want to help those chiropractors too. However, you have to first acknowledge that's how you are, break and change those habits, and be willing to get uncomfortable executing new habits. Because your habits determine your destiny. They determine what kind of chiropractor you are, what kind of life you're going to have. And the conversations that I have with doctors on a weekly basis are very predictable. And it makes me excited and sad at the same time. Excited because I know that we can help all of these doctors out there, and sad because it doesn't have to be like this. Okay. I've been practicing going on 18 years now, and definitely had times in practice that were more stressful than others. But it wasn't because of struggling because we didn't have enough patients or we weren't making enough income. It was because I wasn't satisfied that we had the systems put together to deliver on the promise of what we gave to the patient, or at least what I felt like I owed my patients and my community, to deliver a high level of care, not just clinically, but systems wise, to be able to give them all the resources they need so they can carry through this process and get the results and the experience that I wanted to create for them. That was my frustration, is not being there. Haven't had that frustration in a long time because we have all of it in place and it works very, very nicely. It works very smooth. So that's the thing, that with talking to all these chiropractors, I see this distinct difference in that the ones that have, this big clinic and they're already doing well, they're quick to make decisions. They say, no brainer, let's do it. Sign me up. Let's get rolling. The other doctors, that hesitation is the thing, unfortunately, that, let's just say I'm talking to you right now, and let's say that you're one of those doctors. That hesitation is what's holding you back on every other piece that you've done in your practice and everything else in life. That hoeing and humming, that waiting until who knows what's going to happen so that you can make more excuses as to why you're not going to take action. That is what is going to seal your destiny in being in this constant state of it's not enough, and just not feeling fulfilled because you don't take the freaking leap. So it's like, I want to like virtually push you and just say, hey, are you on or are you off? Okay, let's push you, take the plunge, follow the process, put it in place. It's going to take some work up front, no doubt. But once you put it in place, man, you're set. You're set for the rest of the time in practice. You follow the systems and it works beautifully. Okay, but what do you think is going to get accomplished in the hoeing and humming and saying, well, I got to think about it? That's why your patients aren't committing to care, because they're following subconsciously in the same type of steps that you're doing. That's the same way that you run your life. That's the same freaking way they're going to run their life. You are subconsciously instilling that, like putting that out there. Okay, I'm not trying to get all woo-woo with the energy stuff, but that's what you're doing. They're walking in and they're feeling this kind of non-committal type of thing by you. You're not leading by example. And they hoe and hum and they do their thing and then they disappear, versus if they're excited, if they're committed, if they can see that that's how you work. When you see something that is that is exciting and a great opportunity and something that has the ability to really transform things, you jump on it. That's the way they're going to be. And I tell you, I wasn't always wired like that. I was a little more cautious. I know in the beginning of this, I talked about, I was going to mention, like, different family that I have that has different personalities with this. Like, for example, a family member of mine never takes any credit. Okay. Never takes any risk, wants to pay everything off in full. And what happens with that, that's great. You have a lot more security, I guess, in that you don't take the risks. You have very low risk investment. You always work as an employee somewhere. You have a set salary. You have a set cap as far as what you can reach. But it's kind of like the no risk, no reward thing. And I'm not saying to be just haphazard and throw all your money into, these crazy volatile stocks. And then, it's like going to Vegas and you're putting everything on black. But what I'm saying is that if you don't take the risk, then you don't have the ability to have that reward. And it's not just a financial reward, but it's something that, at least for me, it's exciting to know that there's some uncertainty out there. But the thing I can always bank on is me and my family. I know how we're going to operate. All right. And that's the same way that you need to start thinking about this, is that if you follow up with action and you know that you'll put the work into it, or if you at least force yourself to put the work into it, kind of like this famous quote that I can't remember who said it. The quote goes, what is it? The pain pushes until the vision pulls. The pain pushes until the vision pulls. So the pain of not being successful, the pain of being where you're at now, pushes you out of there to get you to wake up early, take the steps, work the long days, put the work in. And then the vision is what pulls you through. The vision is that thing at the end that you want to get to, that you always move it so that you'd never actually fully get there, because you always want to keep that energy moving forward, but you get closer to the vision. You have that bigger sense of accomplishment. So family member wise, jumping back to that, I know I'm bouncing all over the place, is that you have one type of family member that, just never wants to put anything on credit, never wants to take any risks, never wants to do anything. They work as an employee. They have a capped top they can get to. They don't get to appreciate the finer things in life that they want to have at that time. They wait until they're, retired and elderly to start to be able to maybe buy something that's a little outside of their comfort zone, versus you have on the other side, taking more risk, but calculated risk, understanding that you do only live once, not being reckless, but being able to appreciate things in life, because life is short. Like, don't wait 10 years from now to get the thing you want to get now. Get it now if you can do it. Again, I'm not saying to be reckless, but there's this trade-off of being able to, appreciate and enjoy life and have a little bit of calculated risk. And I feel like from a doctor's standpoint, a lot of them are on this side of, well, I'm just going to keep waiting, and they just keep waiting forever. And the excuses that we hear are just, again, it's the same stuff of why patients don't commit. If a patient comes in and you do the report of findings, and they're not committed on that report of findings day, and you're waiting for their next visit for them to commit and get started, for example, do you have them schedule that the next day, or do you wait a week? Well, guess what? If you wait a week, that's 7 days that they just talk themselves out of why they shouldn't do it, gave themselves all the excuses, rationalized it, justified it to themselves. By the time that week comes around, the chances of them actually taking an empowered action are slim to none. If you get them that next day, or even better, you actually, you dig through those objections right there. But if you do it as close as possible, while the person is at the highest excitement level, they're on board, they understand the importance of this, and you execute, guess what? They follow through. And this is not about manipulating, but this is about capitalizing on the fact that humans make decisions emotionally, and then they back it up with fact. We've all heard this before, right? We make our decisions emotionally, and then we back them up with fact. So we're at this high emotional level. We're excited about this. We can see the vision. We can see this transformation. We can see this light at the end of the tunnel that we're trying to get to. capitalize on it right there. What's capitalizing in a lot of cases? Well, for a patient, it's paying for their care. For a doctor, like joining our program, for example, it's paying for the program. You do that, guess what happens? That's your first step of commitment. That's going to now push you. The pain of the fact of, well, I just paid for that. I don't want to fail. And I'm paying money out. So I want to make sure I'm recouping my investment. Okay, I'm going to jump into this and start following habits that maybe are not comfortable. I'm going to make the time throughout my day, 30 minutes here, an hour there, so I can put the time in to learn and implement this stuff. The pain pushes. You start getting to the point where you see, wow, this is really great. This is going to save so much time. This is going to be phenomenal with our patients and our staff. Now you have a vision, and the vision pulls you. So the pain pushes, the vision pulls, and then you are pulled by the vision. It is no longer trying to run away from pain necessarily. It's a very fun, pleasant experience, I should say. It's what, for me, gets me out of bed every day, and gets me amped up to do something like this on a Facebook Live or podcast and get excited about talking to myself in the camera, talking to myself in a microphone, knowing that someone's listening to this live, or you listen to this on some kind of future replay. So hopefully all this rambling that I'm throwing together resonates with you a little bit. If you are one of those super successful action takers, great, more power to you. And if you're not, which is the vast majority, again, your habits now determine your destiny. They determine your future. Nothing is certain, but you have to be able to take a gamble on you, a risk on you, invest in you. You need to be a sure thing. And if you don't trust that you're going to take action, then that's even more of a reason that you need tried and tested, dialed in systems that when you follow steps, the steps help build habits. They help reinforce actions so that you can have a predictable outcome. That's the stuff we put together in Move Now to try to just make this such a successful thing for people to be able to implement once they take that first step. So I would encourage you to take the first step. And last thing at the very end of this much longer message than I intended is I have this other screen I'm going to share with you. And I'm showing you that we're doing an upcoming impact event. If you're already a member of Move Now, you probably have a ticket to this. All right. You might have a ticket to this and you haven't used it yet because this entire year we've been, off the grid with all the COVID nonsense. Our last impact event was February. Our next one is now, October 16th and 17th. It says, don't let COVID keep you down. I put the link in here so you can check out this video. Holy crap, everyone. That's how it starts off. Isn't that funny? I don't know. Just what I said. So look. Holy crap, everyone. October 2020, we're doing it. So then you opt into this. Okay. You find out how to learn more, and you'll get some emails that remind you to go back to this so you can actually check it out. But then here's what happens. There's a video on here that I made, and I talk about the lineup. I talk about all the people who are going to be here. It's a 2-day event. So much fun doing these things. I love doing these things. We get excited. We have some great energy. We meet all these doctors face to face, their teams when they bring the team out. And it's just a transformational 2 days. It's like nothing else. A lot of you already have access to it. You're a member. You've already paid. You already have a ticket. Just confirm your attendance. Now, we haven't done this before, but we're doing this now. If you are not a member of Move Now University, you can still come to this event. Okay. And let's say you're not a member, you're on the fence, come to the event, you pay for the event, and whatever you pay, if you join Move Now University, in the near future after that, and we'll talk at the event, we will apply that towards joining the program. How cool is that? And if you're a member that's been here before, you've already used your comped ticket, because when you join, you get a comp ticket. You can pay for a ticket and you can get your staff to come as well. It's October 16, 17. Flights are cheap. Fly on in. The speakers on this, check out this page. I'm not going to unveil everything. Okay. I'm going to leave a little bit of mystery so you can actually go to this link and you can check this out, but check out who's coming out here. We got a great lineup of people coming out here. So anyway, that was my super long intro into talking about that we're doing an awesome event coming up for October 2020 Impact. So comment, let me know. And remember, like this perfect example for Impact, it's in 4 weeks. You can buy a plane ticket. You take a Friday off at your clinic, you fly in Thursday, or you fly in Friday morning. Okay. You can make the arrangements. You can get on a plane and put the little face muzzle on and do your thing. Okay. A lot of you don't like it. I get it. I don't like it either. Do it, right? Get on a plane, come out here, train with us, and get the freaking fire lit under you. All right. Now, think about the excuses of why you can't come. Oh, I just don't have enough heads up on it. Oh, it's a crazy time of the year. Oh, we got hit hard by COVID. Oh, whatever. Like everything minus I live in a dictatorship state that's going to make me, like stay at home for 2 weeks if I travel. That's how it works right now for Canada. So sorry, Canadians that can't come down here. If you go back home, they're going to make you self quarantine for 14 days. I don't know of anywhere else in the US that's really doing that right now. Maybe there is some spots and I'm just unaware. But if you're not in one of those areas, which almost all the doctors I've talked to are not, I don't think your excuses are good enough. I think you need to be here. So look forward to seeing you. Hopefully this message hits you in a good spot. It's coming from my heart to your heart. Hope to see you soon. And if you don't show up to this impact event, or if you're listening to this after the impact event, hopefully this message just helps you a little bit and gives you a little push to take action and take control of your life and understand you are in total control of your destiny. With that said, I'm going to get going. Over and out. Talk soon.